Fellow Toastmasters and guests, what do you need to know to trade the markets? What is trading? Why trade the markets? These are two questions I'm going to answer today. Trading is the action of buying and selling goods and services. So who here has traded before on the market? And who here has never traded the markets but would like to? Okay, great. So some people use the term playing the market. And that's like the market's some kind of toy to play with. Some people believe it's taking a really big chance to trade on the market. But I'm going to show you how trading is risky, but that it is not gambling. Many years ago, I had a friend, and he introduced me into mutual funds. And I had an account opened, and I started putting $50 into 3 mutual funds for about 10 years. And after about 10 years, I had enough to put a down payment on a house. And after I bought my house, I had another friend that introduced me into trading options. And at first I was really, you might say I was lucky, but I had a broker and he knew how to trade, and he would say, we're going to do this, and he would shoot me a chart and he'd say, look at the chart and this is what you look for. And I made some money. And that's the thing about the market, is that if you do it right, the rewards are really great. If you do it wrong, you can lose your shirt. So I made some friends, and one day I was going through Chicago to New York, and I asked a friend, I'm going to have a layover for 2 hours in Chicago. Can I go and step into the floor of the commodities trading area? And he said, sure. So I got there, I took a car to the trading area, went to the building, met with a broker, and he said, we're going to walk straight through. And now what it looked like was, at that time there was no electronic trading, and they had these areas that were in a big circle. It was sunken in the floor. There were a couple steps, and there were a group of guys on one side of the circle, and they would be handed these trades to buy or sell. And he said, we're going to walk through. He said, don't stop. And I noticed there were a lot of people running through and walking through and so forth and so on. So I started walking through, and he was saying, that's the wheat pit, and that's the corn pit, and that's this pit, and so forth and so on. And we got about halfway through, and a guy came running by me, and he bumped me really hard, and he fell on the floor, and he looked at me, he said, sorry, he got up, and he started running again. and the broker said, are you okay? And I said, yeah, I'm okay. So we walked all the way through, and he said, that's why you don't want to stop. He said, you stop, someone's going to run you down. That was quite an experience. Eventually, they got into electronic trading, and now when you open an account, you can have 2 different types of accounts. You can have a broker-assisted account, which costs more, or you could do it yourself. And I'm going to, through a series of 5 presentations, I'm going to teach you how to trade. Now, you won't learn enough to trade on your own, but at least you'll have the knowledge. And I'll guide you to what else you need to do before you actually start trading on your own. So I've been actively trading for about 21 years, and I've had a lot of experience with trading, and I want to share some of those experiences with you. So what is trading? Everybody here trades every day, whether you know it or not, because what you're doing is you're trading your time for dollars. That's where it starts. There's a little risk here at the franchise, or if you're working for the state, there's even less risk, because if you're working outside, the business can flop and they can let you go, or they could do terrible and they can let you go, or your boss can walk in one day and just say, bye-bye, here's your pink slip, you're gone. But here it's pretty hard. So you're trading your time for dollars. When you walk into a grocery store, you're trading. You're trading dollars for food or dollars for whatever you're buying. When you buy a house, you're trading dollars for your house. When you're paying your bills, you're trading your dollars for whatever PG&E, SMUD, water, whatever it is. When you buy or sell your car, you're trading dollars for the car. So in a lot of ways, you're already trading. And trading on the market is basically the same thing. Now everybody knows here, if you buy a brand new car, what happens to the price? It goes down, right? So right away, you know, I'm going to spend $20,000 or $30,000, and I'm only going to end up with $10,000 or maybe less $1,000, depending on when I sell it, how old it gets, right? Trading in the market is a lot like that. So why trade the markets? The big reason is for the reward. Plus the fact that you're leveraging your time. See, when you work, your time is spent here at work. But leveraging, some people define that as like when you buy a house, you're doing nothing and the house appreciates. Or when you buy your brand new car, you do nothing and the car depreciates, right? So leveraging is being able to take dollars and leverage it and have your dollars grow without any time. So trading is like that. So before you decide to trade the markets, you have to ask yourself 4 questions. The first question is, how much risk are you willing to take? How do you evaluate yourself as a risk taker? If you don't like taking risks, don't trade. Okay? Number 2, what are your goals? If you like working and living off what you're making, then you don't need to trade. If you want to buy a bigger house, or you want to have the finances when you retire more than what the state is going to give you, or more than what Social Security is going to give you, or you want things that you can't have because you don't make enough money, then you should trade. You also, when you trade and you're making money, you can expand your lifestyle. The other, number 3 is how much work are you willing to take to learn and to put into this endeavor? Because it's like going to college. You have to learn how to read charts. You have to learn how to trade. The market is very fluid, and you have to follow the rules. And it's just like going home. If you get on the freeway and you drive home and you go in those little streets, there's rules that you follow. And if you follow all the rules, you're going to get home without getting in an accident or without getting a ticket, right? The market's the same thing. If you follow the rules, you're going to make a lot of money. The market's fluid, just like traffic. Number 4, do you like to gamble? If you like to gamble, then don't trade. And the reason being is because you can get led from a price going too high or too low. And if you trade when the price is too high or too low and you get in the wrong direction, you're going to lose. You're going to lose everything you have. That's why gamblers do not make good traders. So what I'm saying is, you get whatever you put into this. It's kind of like those of you that went to college have a better job than those that haven't gone to college, because you invested in your education. You invest in your education in trading, you're going to do very, very well. So the best traders that I've met are the ones with the best character. And I say that because I've seen people who are not really honest with themselves, and they start trading, and they second guess the market. And you can't second guess the market. It's kind of like you're getting on the on-ramp, and you say, oh boy, there's a lot of traffic here. Well, I'm going to get on the other side of the freeway and go the same way the traffic's going. Well, you're going to have a head-on, right? You're on the wrong side of the road. You're going to have a head-on. You can't do that. You have to want what the market wants. That's what a trader taught me. Want what the market wants. If you want what the market wants, you're going to do very well. So my next presentation is going to be on what you need to do to start trading. So I'm going to give you all that information about getting a broker, about we're going to look at a couple things on the internet, some tools, and we're going to start getting the charts. The next presentation after that, I'm going to show you how a chart works. A chart's like a map. The market talks to you. Using that information the market gives you, you can make a lot of money. The fourth presentation, I'm going to get more into using the tools and the charts. And the last presentation, if you're really interested, after the last presentation, you're welcome to come and talk to me, and I can sit down and show you more materials and where to start and that kind of thing. Because the very last presentation, I'm going to have some material I'm going to present on how to trade, some educational things that you can take with you and read and study. So, thank you very much, and Mr. Testmaster.
Hello everyone, and I particularly like the topic because it's a subject I'm really passionate about, trading. My background is finance, so I know a little bit of what he was talking about. I like the fact that he started by asking a question: does anybody know what trading is, and does anybody trade? Has anybody traded before? And he defined trading. Obviously, he talked about his personal experience as far as investing $50 on a mutual fund. He talked about what they call in business time value of money, which is really, it's not really how much you invest, it's really the length of the time that you spend, you invest. That's how you make money. So he started by investing $50, and next thing you know, within 10 years, he has a lot of money, enough to purchase a house. So for the young people, if you don't invest, start the earlier you start, the better. If you wait until later in your life, you save a lot more in order to actually have enough money saved for your retirement. So the earlier you do it, the better. He talked about his experience at a commodity place. You could actually picture him tumbling, in front of everybody. So that was, I like that. I like the body language that he was using, the eye contact, the different volume of his voice that he was using, and also how he talked about how you're always trading, whether it's going to the grocery store, you're trading your money for food, or you're trading your money for a car. And so he made it so easy to the average person that it's not really that scary. He talked about also when you're trading, you have to look at risk. Do you tolerate, are you comfortable with taking risk? And then what is your goal? If you're comfortable with your income, are you just you don't need to invest, and he talked about all that. So I think the only thing, if I were to recommend something, would have been to mention a little bit of some of the most famous or the most popular brokerage firms like the Schwab, Merrill Lynch, the Vanguard. That way people, can put two and two together. Other than that, I liked it.